I first came through Bangkok in the early 1990s as an impressionable young backpacker. The city fulfilled absolutely every expectation I had about what a noisy, crazy, non-stop Asian city should be like. Absolutely every urban challenge faced by cities around the world is amplified here in Bangkok. This country is run by a military dictatorship who is also trying to influence urban development and urban planning. There are very few examples from history where that story has a happy ending. This series is about finding the life-size pockets of goodness in cities around the world. There's still a refreshing, insane madness to this place. Outside of the comfort zone of this amazing market lies the urban jungle.
A chaotic mix of skyscrapers, street markets, and hidden alleyways, Bangkok is a vibrant hub of life, buzzing pretty much day and night. The political, economic, and cultural center of Thailand is home to more than 10 million people, and it generates 40% of the kingdom's wealth. Considered the capital of gridlock, the city's traffic is among the worst in the world. If it hopes to change, Bangkok will have to work around a bureaucracy that is, believe it or not, even more clogged up than its streets. In fact, the whole country's future seems paralyzed by recurring political upheavals. After years of clashes between rival factions, the military junta took control of the country in a coup in May 2014. It now holds a tight grip on power, imprisoning opponents, controlling information, and attempting to change the constitution. The junta also controls the BMA, the Bangkok Municipal Administration, the agency that runs the city. And that makes things challenging, to say the least. But social instability hasn't undermined the locals' fierce will to better their city. They're fighting back, not with violence, but with their creativity and ingenuity. Dwangrid Bunag knows a thing or two about building cities. He just happens to be one of Thailand's most prominent architects. And he loves his hometown's chaotic side, labeling it as diverse and exciting. But he's deeply concerned with the authorities' lack of vision and complete disregard for the things that give Bangkok its true identity.
Bangkok started out with the river. It used to be a main transportation mode for people of Bangkok, like maybe hundreds of years ago. And we turned our back to the river because we have cars and roads. And now, recently, attention started to get back into the river.
They think we want to ride.
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
They just send the passenger to the restaurant. I think Bangkok right now is on survival mode. They have no policy. They have no one governing the city. We have so many ridiculous projects going on. Like, they plan to build a roadway on the riverfront, 14 kilometers.
On this river?
On this river. Can you imagine that?
What's happening around the world is cities are taking them out. They made that mistake in the 50s and 60s. Paris has just done it.
And we're just having that project trying to make it happen next year. Bangkok never have a real plan. The only plan that we use came from 20, 30 years ago. And that time they used the structure of the city, which is like 5 million people.
Right.
Now Bangkok have maybe 10 or 12 million people. It doesn't work.
Where is Bangkok going now with regards to urban planning? The traffic. I mean, everybody knows that it's kind of a joke. How do you fix something that is really quite broken?
Everything you see right now is complete chaos, with a beautiful chaos because of the people. I think Bangkok people, they are so fluid. So they live through traffic smiling. They live all through the flood smiling. Bangkok still survives because of Thai people, not because of the authority. If not for the Thai people, Bangkok will be gone, long time ago.
Now, smiling's a good thing, of course, but it's not really going to solve anything. Bangkok and its population are growing at an alarming rate. It's become very clear that this would be a good time to think things through, to make urban planning decisions for the greater good.
So right now is one of those times in the history of Thailand and also Bangkok that the conversation between the people who actually running the city or running the country is very far apart. Strange project can happen. Strange decision and policy can happen because they are not obligated to listen to what we want. If you have a person who running the country or running the city that's not listening to you, you have to make yourself heard. And then they don't want to hear you. So you are on the risk speaking out. But that doesn't stop me. That doesn't stop a lot of people. Thai is actually mean free. So the real Thai people is not modest. They speak out. So I am Thai person and I don't shy to speak.
Clearly, Duangrit isn't shy to take on ideas that have never been tried in Bangkok's unregulated urban transformation. He's working hard to create useful architecture, using the past to make the future.
What is this place that you've created here?
Well, basically we call the place a jam factory. The uniqueness of this place is that we came here when the building was all torn down. It's an old warehouse, an old factory, and we tried to renovate it from scratch. We designed the building by using the steel from the pier that we removed from the water. So even though we built a new building, but we're trying to use the material that exists on the site. But that has never been done before in Bangkok.
What would have been the default? Just bulldozing it and building something new?
Exactly. There is not much policy trying to preserve the city and keeping the characteristic of the city as it should have been done. Especially the government project, they tend to tone down the old thing and rebuild the new thing completely, which I completely disagree with that. Yeah. Well, the building actually losing more and more on the historical trace of the city. We show them the new way of doing it. So every effort they're trying to preserve the city or keep the balance between development and the historical will be done mostly by citizens and not the government.
Nowhere is the challenge of preservation more pressing than on Ratanakosin Island, Bangkok's historical district, where neighborhoods stubbornly try to survive, counting on citizens to take a stand for local values.
We're here with the crew. We just got out of the van. It's all very suspicious looking because we're not supposed to film here. The military junta has dictated where we can and cannot film.
Pom Mahakan is a microvillage located on the edge of Ratanakosin Island. Its residents are faced with what I'd call a pretty big problem. They're told they can no longer live here. But hey, they do. And more importantly, they call this place home.
Everything we see here, this will be bulldozed by the authorities.
Exactly. Because they want to clean Bangkok. They want to make the public space. And the definition of public space from government is like just park.
A park.
Just a park.
Okay.
Yeah.
No life, no people, no families.
No people,
okay.
คิดว่าดีครับ
Hello.
ไม่ได้ไปหาเลย
Sanan doesn't live in this neighborhood, but he is truly concerned about the future of this place. That's why he's helping local residents find creative solutions that will allow them to stay here. Pom Mahakan is one of the few historic neighborhoods left in the entire city. Built more than 200 years ago when Bangkok became the country's capital, its architecture is unique. Surprisingly, the BMA has chosen to just tear everything down and turn it into something convenient for tourists, with no consultation, no plans for preservation, and no intention to compensate the families that have been here for generations.
And this is evidence of the eviction on last September.
So the people who are living here, they moved out.
They moved out.
And then, right, okay.
This one is like, okay, I want to leave.
All right.
I don't want to fight anymore.
That's sad to look at that, to think that all of this might look like that in a couple
You
months.
imagine myself, I see it like before, it's the same as this one.
Yeah.
And then it's gone.
Oh.
Yeah.
It says public land, no trespassing. Well, then it's not public land, man. God.
Sanan introduces me to a community leader, a spokesperson for the people of Pom Mahakan. Where many have decided to pack up and leave, others are resisting, working hard to showcase and maintain their heritage.
How many people are in this neighborhood now?
44 ครอบครัว280 คน
How old is this house?
100 กว่าปีที่ดินตรงเนี้ยมันเป็นที่ดินพระราชทานมีทั้งของวัดทั้งของผู้ข้าราชการเก่าๆในการอยู่อาศัยแล้วก็เป็นชุมชนชานพระนครเมืองของกรุงเทพสมัยกรุงรัตนโกสินทร์แห่งสุดท้ายนะตรงเนี้ย
The kings of the present dynasty are all referred to as Ramas, from Rama I in the late 1800s to the current king, Rama X. The people of Thailand actually associate historical periods with each of these Rama kings.
เพราะที่นี่มันเป็นชุมชนที่เป็นบ้านไม้ร่วมสมัยตั้งแต่3 4 5 6ถึงรัชกาลที่9บ้านเฮารัชกาลที่4
Rama 4.
Rama IV.
It's Rama 5 from Rama 5.
That's beautiful.
อันนี้คือบ้านทำอาหาร
It's a house that produce and made the food for every houses.
The cafeteria.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly,
right.
exactly.
Sanan isn't the only outsider promoting the preservation of this community. The Vernadoc project, led by a group of architects, is drawing up plans of the historical buildings, underlining their value and archiving their architecture, should Pom Mahakan eventually be destroyed. The hope, however, is that through the Living Heritage Museum initiative, the neighborhood remains intact, with the citizens living inside what would become, in a way, an open-air museum. But can you actually live in a museum?
So we want to show them that people can stay with the public space.
Yeah.
And the community itself, they want to be the security guard, they want to be the gardener.
Yeah.
You don't need to pay us everything. We will do for free.
So I've been reading some of the things that you've written about how the authorities say, oh, people can't live in a park, and then you give examples from all of these historical areas around the world, from Finland to Korea, saying, yeah, they do that there. So
This community is like one of the identity that we gonna lose if we don't see the value. And this one is not only the issue about this community and the government, but it is the issue about the identity of our city.
อันนี้คนที่มาท่องเที่ยวแล้วมาให้กำลังใจในคนในชุมชนในการที่เขาก็เลยเซ็นชื่อเป็นที่ระลึก
what do you preserve? At what point do you say, this is something that we should keep? This is something we should bulldoze. It's always a tricky subject, but when you have so much history right here in the center of Bangkok, this is something that you keep. This is something that you polish and you preserve. The past is right here, it's tangible, it's important to the history of this city, of this country.
While some are fighting to preserve life-size neighborhoods, new monster-sized shopping malls are popping up all over the city every year.
Here, public space is a shopping mall. America, you think you're so great at your shopping malls, you have nothing on a city like Bangkok. This is where people hang out. There are shopping malls everywhere in Bangkok, and there's more on the way. There will be 600,000 square meters of new retail space by 2018. Where does this end? The other question is, who is this for? The average wage in Thailand is $10 a day. These are temples of consumerism focused on a very little demographic group.
Bangkok is made of megablocks, if you look at the maps, right? So you have all these main roads forming large square, which is not very conducive to walking and experiencing because you're just on a straight line all the time. But if you take the time to actually look at how busy this is and then sort of veer off just a little bit, I think you find a different side of Bangkok that's, I think, more authentic and true to itself.
Tanan co-founded the Creative District with like-minded individuals who envisioned a different future for Bangkok, away from car-clogged boulevards and anonymous glass skyscrapers. Together, they hope to build on the city's traditional strengths, its life-sized alleyways, where the real Bangkok thrives.
Here, this is actually a main community market strip. It is the true Bangkok, right? It's It's very representative of many communities around in Bangkok that you wouldn't find if you were just going along the main routes of the train lines or the tourist routes. There's a lot of food vendors around. You can see there's functional stores like hardware stores. There's actually a fresh market right behind over there. It's like a microcosm of the food scene in all Bangkok, right? You have your roast duck, you have your Chinese dim sum stuff, and then there's a noodle stand there, so it's
You got everything you need, right? Yeah.
in one specific corner. If you don't slow down in Bangkok, you just end up whizzing by in cars. But if you travel on foot or bicycle, you will actually end up seeing a lot of historical food places, which is this area is known for.
You know what? That's just the thing with Bangkok's complexity. It feels big and imposing at first, but if you dig just a little deeper, you discover its essence. The real Bangkok, the Bangkok of the people, is hidden behind each and every one of these buildings, whether they're old or new.
We're 4 meters in, and the sound guy is incredibly happy right now, aren't you, Silvan? Right? It's just so quiet, instant quiet.
What we've just entered is a very typical old community in Thailand. It's called a trog. And a trog usually refers to communities that have pathways where cars cannot come in.
What are all these places along here? They're selling stuff.
They're both using it as their homes, and if they open up, some days they would just put out some things to sell. So that's how a lot of the communities in Thailand are, especially in these trog. And what's interesting about this one is that's the ticketing booth for an old cinema.
Wow.
Built pre-war as a community standalone cinema, early 1920s, 1930s probably. It's completely wrapped around and hidden by shop houses on all sides. So you will never know that it's here, and a lot of Bangkokers don't even know it exists. Sawasdee krap.
Be still, my cinematic heart. Hidden Bangkok, like this is it right here, man.
So it was recently opened because the government actually owns all of these shop houses in the cinema. And they were renovating, so they have been using this as the construction storage space.
I mean, this woman's just selling. She sort of opened the door and said, yeah, here's a fridge. I'm selling cold drinks.
I mean, I think that's a very Thai perspective of public land or land that's owned by the government. In the West, I think when there's public space, people think in terms of parks. And this is my space to walk. This is my space to ride a bike. But in Thailand, it's very interesting. They tend to think of it as a spot where they can set up a shop. And you see that all over Bangkok, right? Even when we were walking in the area, so many vendors taking up public space. And it's part of the culture.
If they feel a sense of ownership, then that's the first step to maintaining control, citizen control of the city, right? Oh, look at this. Piles and piles of old film reels. Look at all the cinema history. You want to open them all up and find out what they are. And all the stories that are hidden here, all the generations of films that people were sitting in this cinema and watching. It's like stacked right there. That is wild.
Hidden Bangkok for you.
Yeah. What are the plans for this building?
The government recently just opened it up to public bidding to lease the space. My group, the Creative District Foundation, we actually sent in anthropologists to walk around this neighborhood and community to talk to people without them knowing that it's from us, so that we can get a neutral viewpoint from them and ask them what they want. And a lot of them felt like this could be a community center again. They can gather to have their own health checkups or classes and all those things. So in order to achieve that, we were hoping that it would also become a flexible event space, right? Bring different kinds of people here to experience the hidden Bangkok, and as well as meet the neighborhood people. And this, khop khun mak krap, right in the hood. That's their house right there.
Like there? That's a short commute.
Khop khun mak krap. เดี๋ยวเจอกันใหม่ครับ สวัสดีครับ So I think you're beginning to get a sense of the closeness of this community, just in terms of space, and I think in terms of people just walking by, greeting each other, hanging out right here. สวัสดีครับ สวัสดีครับ สวัสดีครับ
This is a city that is sorely lacking in basic transport options. They've placed a lot of money on a last century horse, the automobile. There's a couple of really badly designed train lines that don't connect up very well, and still they're over capacity. The people of this city are desperate for better transport options.
Now Now, the problem is, of course, worse for people living in poorer and more remote communities. Ironically, the people of Lat Phrao see a solution to an important issue every single day in their own backyard. Yang Yonglong has documented this community's project for better transportation in a book called Handmade Transit.
We're on Lat Phrao Canal, which run north and south. Normally, if you take the car in the morning, like rush hour like this, it would take more than 2 hours in traffic. You get stuck here. But we have experimented with some boat transit. It takes less than half an hour because the boat is traffic free.
How many people live in this neighborhood?
แถวคลองลาดพร้าวนี่มีสักกี่ครัวเรือนทั้งหมด
ก็ตอนนี้ที่มีอยู่คลองลาดพร้าวก็ประมาณหมื่นกว่าคนเลย
Each household is around 5 people.
Okay, like 50,000 people. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
ส่วนมากจะเข้าเมืองก็จะมีตามห้างตามสรรพสินค้าตามบริษัทตามอะไรอย่างเงี้ย
That's all right, man. Right, I'm getting in.
The need to get to work faster has pushed locals to create their own makeshift water bus with a cargo boat. They're breaking stereotypes in a city that generally associates boats with the lower classes. But things haven't always been this way. With more than 1,000 canals, Bangkok was once named the Venice of the East. Over the past decades, however, this amazing network of waterways has nearly been forgotten. With an increasing population and simply no more space for cars, people are now turning back to the canals for transportation. And that is exciting.
How many kilometers of canals are there in Bangkok?
Almost 2,000. But not all of them are usable. Some of them are very small waterways.
Yeah, we just passed one back there.
Yeah.
Super narrow.
Right, but we survey around 34 canals that are usable.
Yeah.
There's a lot of canals that are intersecting BTS lines.
Right, yeah.
Intersecting are very important because if it goes parallel to the metro, there's no need to open it.
Yeah, right.
But if it intersect, then you should connect them. Like for example, you have two piers, right? Mm-hmm. Then that's just one connectivity. Mm-hmm. Maybe this one is a metro.
Yeah.
But if you add 3 more piers, you don't increase the connectivity by 3 times. You can increase it much more. It's exponential. You increase it by 10 times.
Yeah.
Just by adding 3 knots.
So how many people could we effectively move down this canal on a daily basis?
40,000 people
40,000
per day. Yeah. You can see that on Sansap Canal, which can hold up to 60,000 people per day. That's actually more than the new Purple Line MRT that just opened.
That completely blows my mind. These existing canals are proving to be more efficient than an expensive new subway line. But not everyone sees things with the same pragmatism.
We're illegal right now.
We're illegal.
We're not supposed to be running boats without a license.
Is that how it works here?
Yeah.
It's somebody gets an idea and it develops and then they go upwards?
Yeah, for the case of motorcycle taxi, for example, it started out like community leader driving illegally, taking passenger from the end of the alleyway to the main street.
That's actually a really efficient way to get around Bangkok, I've understood.
Motorcycle taxi, if you look closely, it's a BRT system.
Yeah.
It has a lane between the car, right?
Yeah.
And that lane is traffic free. So even when you're stuck, if you get stuck infinitely, the motorcycle taxi can still zigzag along the car. And it's the largest BRT system, actually. We have over almost 4 to 6 million people per day.
That's great.
BRT.
Bus rapid transit system.
But
with separated lanes.
Yeah, with only one person.
But still, when you got 4 to 6 million people using
collectively, it's a BRT system.
And so this canal hopes to become a legal way to make life simpler, like the Sangsap Canal did, but with the help of the community who will benefit from better services.
Having to work outside the system constantly creates sort of a rebellious culture. That culture of debate, argument exists in these kind of community. But when you go into the established system, it's more like a culture of respect and obedience. Mm-hmm. The innovation, interestingly, is in the street, because that culture of argument foster and nurture innovation in the street.
Now, are the policymakers receptive to that?
Actually, they are right now. Well, there's a lot of local media attention to what he's doing.
แต่ว่าเมื่อก่อนเนี่ยมันทำงานในรูปแบบที่ว่าทุกคนต่างคนต่างทำแต่ตอนนี้มันมาทำในรูปแบบบูรณาการร่วมกันภาคประชาชนไม่ได้ประโยชน์แต่ตอนนี้ทางทำแล้วชุมชนได้ประโยชน์ร่วมกันกับทั้งภาครัฐทั้งภาคประชาชนทั้งผู้ประกอบการทั้งผู้งานมันได้ประโยชน์ร่วมกัน
This canal will connect you to the new metro in 2 years. Imagine this area.
Yeah.
Economic activity will be enormous. Yeah, we have a bazaar. You can have breakfast sellers.
Yeah.
And this is right in the middle of the city. It feels like a different world.
Wow.
Sort of a green belt, the forest. In the future, if you can commute to work like this in a more enclosed boat, it would be nice. So the metro station will be here, right?
Perfect hub right here.
Right.
You have your river transport. There's also a road here. There's motorcycle taxis. You got a marketplace. This is the village that we have had for 7,000 years.
Right.
All in one spot.
To say that cycling in Bangkok isn't easy is an understatement. The utter dominance of the automobile has left Thai cyclists with very few options, and little has been done to change this in recent years.
This lovely stretch of bicycle infrastructure, where does it go? Does it go anywhere important, from anywhere useful?
It's not linked with another bike lane or another road. It's not connected to any place.
And he is not even kidding. Like the rest of the public transit infrastructure here, it seems no one has given any thought to the purpose of the lanes, which is, let me remind you, to get people from point A to point B.
So how long is this stretch?
5 or 6 kilometers. But Bangkok is a congestion city. It's hard to build bike lane here. 20 or 30 years ago, when this city built car society, people switched from bicycle to car. One reason maybe they want to show their social status.
So it's status.
Right.
Okay.
You will see.
What is this?
What the real Bangkok is.
Oh no, the party's ending now?
Yeah. So we have to walk.
You have to walk?
Yes, to walk across this.
It's kind of ironic to ride down this beautiful cycle track and end here. You can just hear the scooters, man, like angry hornets, and they're ready to attack.
Okay. No, sorry. Okay.
You just gotta go, right?
Yeah, right.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All of this begs the question, is it too late? Has Bangkok been developed so erratically that cycling will remain a marginal solution to gridlock? Can the bicycle ever become a safe way to get around in this city?
To cycling is the best community ever, I'm sure. Yeah.
So, and when you're doing your meetings around town, the bike is just like, you're there before everybody else.
Yes.
What is needed to get people to ride a bicycle for transportation?
Policy.
Policy
to make more infrastructure, not only for bike lane, but bike parking near the train station.
So are you an optimist about the future of urban cycling in Bangkok?
Yeah, I would suggest to learn from Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah, because we are same in many ways for weather and we have small road, like a congested city. We are same condition.
So this is the main street, Sukhumvit, and we've seen the bike lane up on the sidewalk, just kind of random pictograms with fading paint and no bikes at all. You know, I've cycled in 75 cities around the world. You can't imagine having to ride your bike up on the sidewalk. If you want to ride a bike, you got to do it here, you know, run the gauntlet of the traffic. You have to experience this in order to make cities better. There is a shocking lack of green space in Bangkok. The temperature in this city is much higher than other cities in the region, simply because they don't have the benefit of the cooling effect of foliage. On top of that, the trees that do exist on the urban landscape are not taken care of very well. There is a lack of knowledge about how to take care of urban trees. And I'm going to meet some good people who are trying to change that. Hi, Orion.
Hi. Yeah, as you can see, this is one of the professional arborists in our team. This is from the electricity authority. Because when you're not watching, they would take like these big knives and they just cut like this without looking at each particular branch. These are like weak branches that actually came out as a result of a poor pruning job.
Right, okay.
Today, we are here on the street. It's not even where we live, but we're spending the whole day with the professionals.
For me, that's the essence of your volunteer group. You're just a group of citizens, and you're training, you just said the professionals, but you're actually training the professionals to take care of trees.
Until just a few years ago, Orion didn't know a thing about trees. But after eye-opening studies in Canada, she returned home and co-founded Big Trees, a volunteer group that organizes training sessions for municipal workers. They hire professional arborists and rent the necessary equipment to make it all happen.
Even though in Montreal is a big city, there's so many big parks, there are big trees along the streets. You can actually breathe. But here we have so few public parks, we have so few trees along the streets, and that's why it's so, hot and polluted and, unpleasant to walk on the streets. It's actually the residents who are living in this area who are helping to pay for them to come out. So it's not even government budget. And when they see this tree in front of their house, and one day it's gone, or it has been hacked almost to death, then after a number of years, it's like an army of people living in the city who will not stand by and let the authorities, do their job terribly anymore. This is our arborist. Be careful.
Yep. You can take the boy out of Canada, but you can't take Canada out of the boy. You know what I'm saying? The people from the BMA, are they receptive to this new training?
They're actually more receptive now. At the beginning, they're pretty resistant because usually they would spend like maybe a few minutes per tree.
Yeah.
But they're slowly beginning to see that when they do it our way, they actually don't have to come back as often as they used to.
Right.
They use their old method.
I saw chainsaws before. This guy, he's like a ninja up there, looking at all those branches. I'm going, yeah, let's just chop them all. And he's going, no, not that one. This one. Amazing professionalism.
These guys did these trees.
Okay.
They're quite proud of it.
But you can totally see the difference,
Yeah. It has come to a point where we think it's not possible to let the authorities run the city by themselves.
Okay.
They need to be monitored. They need help. They need to be. They need some heavy criticism at times, so that basically to keep them in check. But the most successful symbol to give out to the people of Bangkok is the green space. คุณนอนแล้วจะขึ้น2 คนได้ไหมอ่ะขึ้นพร้อมกันได้ไหมต้นเนี้ย
I'm afraid they might be ready.
Yes.
So,
For you. ใครควรจะขึ้นก่อน Okay,
There you
you're
go.
going up. Yay! On the whole, we're like a bunch of active and concerned citizens who are using the different skills that they have to make the city a slowly, slightly better place to live.
Awesome. A symbolic gesture, but it was worth it. This is the best shoot ever. I get to climb trees. I'm basically 12 years old again in Bangkok. It's awesome.
On the outskirts of the city, a visionary man has created the Zero Baht Shop, a convenience store where no money is required. The currency here? Garbage. By gathering large amounts of recyclable trash, the shop can sell in bulk to factories and buy food for the entire community. That's what I call ingenuity.
สวัสดีค่ะพี่พิทักษ์
ดีครับก็ตอนนี้กำลังจะคัดแยกขยะนะครับเพราะว่าที่ชาวบ้านเอาขยะมาที่ร้าน0 บาท
You had a really great idea about how to monetize the garbage in the neighborhood.
ผมคิดเองครับมันมีคำถามว่าถ้าเราไม่มีเงินเราจะแก้ปัญหายังไงนะครับแล้วสุดท้ายขยะเราขายได้ทั้งหมดอะ
There's trash everywhere and there's value in trash. So why not start at this shop and people can track consumer goods, with the recyclable trash.
เราก็เลยเอาขยะเหล่านี้นะเพราะว่าขยะเนี่ยถ้าของคนต่างไปเก็บเนี่ยมันจะไม่เกิดมันไม่ต่อรองไม่ได้แต่พอเราทำแบบนี้ปุ๊บสุดยอดทุกคนมาเอาขยะมาแลกแฟบแลกสบู่แลกยาสีฟัน
So being organized and having volume is the key to the success of this program. How many families are members of the association now?
ตอนนี้จาก3 ครอบครัวตอนนี้เรามี120 ครอบครัวอยู่ตอนนี้เราไม่มีเงินมาช่วยกันแยก
That's what we're going to do now,
So
right?
he said, we don't have money now, so let's help.
We're going to sort, right? Just like home, except there's money in this.
So I sorted trash for half an hour and then traded it in for goods. My trash today was worth 100 baht, which is about $3.
94 บาท
Oh,
เกินบาทหนึ่ง
high five. High five. Hello. Hello. Sampan is one of many in this community that has changed her life for the best with the help of this original project. The Zero Baht shop is an amazing success and an inspiration for other cash-free shops now coming to life in Bangkok and all over Thailand. They're now recognized by the government as a very viable recycling model. How long have you been doing this?
อ๋อทำมา20 กว่าปีแล้วค่ะชีวิตดีขึ้นค่ะครอบครัวได้และเลี้ยงตัวเราได้ช่วยเหลือได้ทุกอย่างค่ะมีประกันชีวิตวันละบาทด้วยค่ะแล้วก็มีเงินปันผลหลัง6 เดือนด้วยค่ะ
It's a society like a union, so they really take care of each other.
อันเนี้ยหลังคาทำด้วยกล่องนุ่ม
Okay, you just walk past that and you think it's corrugated iron.
ใช่เราเอากล่องนุ่มไปแลกเขา
This is a car tire, cut up, being repurposed.
อันนี้คือสวนผักคนเมืองแล้วก็มีมะรุมมีพริกมีมะเขืออะไรเนี่ยทุกอย่างก็ไม่ต้องใช้เงิน
I can also trade for this.
Yes.
If I didn't want the cup noodles, I could get some fresh
พริก
vegetables.
พวกกับผักชีอะไรเงี้ยมาที่นี่ได้เหมือนกัน
Yes, you can also come
Okay.
here.
Oh, the pigs are here. Oh, sorry. Hello. You can have that, dude.
มะม่วง
This is a green mango dip from the mango tree over there.
Okay.
Thai spinach from that plant.
อันนี้มะเขือก็อยู่ในสวน
Eggplant also from the garden. Oh, that's for your eggs.
Oh, that's my eggs from my work. In this community and with your idea, you had to do it yourself because there was no help from the authorities. Is that right?
ไม่มีทางเลย
Never. You never get help
รัฐ
from
ไม่มาเห็นไม่มองเห็นเลยนะดูถูกเราทั้งที่เป็นตัวอย่างให้คนในสังคมต่างประเทศมามาทำข่าวไว้เยอะแยะเลยเขาเห็นตุนหมดแล้วแต่ว่าที่นี่โน่คนเขาต่ำซาเล้งเนี่ยต่ำสุดคนต่ำสุดบอกว่าไม่มีเลยมันเป็นชุมชนที่ปีไม่มีใครสนใจแม้แต่หน่วยงานภาครัฐยังว่าผมบ้าอีกนะหลายหน่วยงานบ้าเฮ้ยมึงก็เลยเอาขยะมาแลกสินค้าอะไรเอาขยะมากันชีวิตบ้านะเฮ้ยอยู่ไม่กี่วันมันเจ๊งหรอกมันทำไปเจ๊งแต่ว่าสิ่งที่เขาดูถูกเราเลยนะมันทำให้เรามีมานะ
From scavengers to role models in waste management, how inspiring is that? Small ideas with big impacts are something to cherish. The local government has now picked up on this success and launched a campaign named Clean City Brings Happiness to People. 20 universities are using their idea, as are several Thai governmental departments. Our friends even hosted visitors from Nigeria hoping to adopt their project.
ก็รู้สึกภูมิใจว่าจากคนตัวเล็กๆจากเคยที่อยู่ใต้สะพานจนปัจจุบันนี้ได้ขึ้นมาอยู่ข้างบนแล้วใช่ครับแล้วก็ถ้าได้ยินแบบนี้ภูมิใจคือพูดแล้วขนลุก ใช่อย่างน้อยๆเขาชุมชนเขาสะอาดละ แล้วก็ได้นอกจากสะอาดแล้วเขายังมีเงินใช้ด้วย
But what I'm starting to see is one individual who gets one simple good idea, but who also has the force of will to build it into something tangible, empowering, in most cases, an entire community. That force of will is the most valuable resource that we possess in our cities. Citizens doing it for themselves, activists trying to make a change on the urban landscape. But what of corporate social responsibility? Where do the big companies, the corporations, see themselves in this equation? I'm going to sneak through this little alleyway and find out.
This is one of the football. We call it the zigzag one.
A zigzag?
Yeah, as you can see from the shape.
So you work with AP, a real estate developer here in Thailand.
Yeah.
And this is your project.
Yes.
What inspired you to get involved with a zigzag football pitch?
Actually, we want to make something good and return to the community. The reason why we choose Klong Toei is this is one of the densely populated area in Bangkok, and kids don't have spaces to express their interests. We would like to focus on what we did best, which is space design. And here we come with the idea of the unusual football field shape. We use the aerial photography, to take a look at is there any unused land across Bangkok.
It may be hard to imagine, but this was once a dark and dangerous no man's land between two apartment buildings in one of Bangkok's poorest neighborhoods. Even though the space wasn't fit for the task, they built around the obstacles, they put up lighting, and here you have it. A bunch of these impressive pitches are popping up in and around the city, creatively repurposing land by and for the citizens.
There was a structure here, so you worked around the structure. Okay, you can see the line, right?
Yeah.
They're actually sticking to the lines,
right.
you know. They're not saying, yeah, that's fine, but if the ball comes over here where the house was, it's actually out.
Yeah.
So there's a throw-in. The citizens here, are they embracing this space?
Yes, of course. One of the proof that they really love this space is that people here, they always gather together maybe on the weekends and they clean it by themselves without funding from AP. They keep a regular communication with our teams that, hey, they're gonna hold the New Year party here, and they would like us to join the party as well, without any funding requests. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Because it means they love it so much.
What an amazing example. A former garbage dump. Lifeless, forgotten, simple idea, and you transform a community. The life-size city, this is where the roots are, right here.
We've seen simple life-sized ideas change neighborhoods, creating spaces for children to play and places for people to gather. But they can even change the social fabric of a community. A dangerous area full of drug dealers and thieves can be transformed by a gym.
Taxi? This looks amazing. Tell me, when did this start?
เริ่มทำค่ายมวยที่ซ้อมเด็กตรงนี้นะครับเริ่มประมาณสัก 7-8 ปีที่ผ่านมาเริ่มก็มีเด็กอยู่ประมาณ 4-5 คนแต่ตอนนี้ก็เริ่มซ้อมกันมาเรื่อยๆตอนนี้ก็มีเด็กอยู่ที่มาซ้อมที่นี่ประจำก็อยู่ประมาณเกือบ 30 คน
Police officer Kru Khan has been working in this neglected part of town for years. Tired of seeing kids hang out with drug dealers and gangsters, he realized that policing just wasn't enough.
So you maybe know some of the kids before they start boxing?
รุ่นแรกๆรู้จักอยู่ประมาณคน2 คนนะครับเพราะว่าเป็นเด็กที่ค่อนข้างจะเกเรนิดนึงแล้วเราเป็นสมัยก่อนเราเป็นเจ้าที่สายตรวจที่ตรวจอยู่รอบๆแถวนี้นะครับสายตรวจรถมอเตอร์ไซค์เราก็มาตรวจแล้วก็เห็นว่าเด็กเขาใช้เวลาว่างไม่เกิดประโยชน์ก็เลยชวนเข้ามาซ้อมมวยเริ่ม
What was the reaction of the community?
เริ่มต้นที่แรกเนี่ยเขาก็ได้แต่มองเฉยๆมองดูว่าเขามองลักษณะว่าเราจะทำได้เหรอเพราะว่าโดยปกติเราทำงานหลักของเรามันก็พอสมควรอยู่แล้วแต่ว่าเมื่อเวลามันผ่านไปด้วยเด็กที่เข้ามาหาเราจากเด็กที่เกเรก็กลายเป็นเด็กที่ดีขึ้นกลายเป็นเด็กที่ตรงนี้มันเป็นจุดศูนย์รวมสำหรับการออกกำลังกายการเล่นกีฬาจริงๆผลที่ได้รับก็คือเขาเริ่มเข้ามาสนใจเราเขาเริ่มมองมาที่เราว่าเราตั้งใจจริงเราพยายามจะสร้างเด็กตรงนี้พยายามจะช่วยเหลือเด็กตรงนี้เขาก็เริ่มยินดีกับเราด้วยปัจจุบันนี้เขามีแต่อยากจะช่วยเราไม่ทางใดก็ทางหนึ่งถึงจะไม่ใช่เรื่องเงินทองแต่เขาก็ช่วยเราในเรื่องว่าบางทีเขาซื้อน้ำแข็งมาให้ซื้อน้ำมาให้
Do you need a new trainer?
เขาบอกต้องการเทรนเนอร์คนใหม่ไหมคะ
ต้องมีพื้นฐานนะไม่งั้นมันพลาดมันจะเจ็บมันเจ็บเลยแขนจะยกไม่ขึ้นเลย
He's quite worried because he said the kids kick really hard so you might not be able to lift your arms the next day
So this kid
The gym itself is a symbol of the community's engagement. The steel structure was a gift from a local contractor. Every bit of wood was supplied by the parents, and Kru Khan paid for the tin roof himself.
Like this? Like that? Like this? No.
เทรนเนอร์ไม่มีค่าจ้างเป็นแค่คือเรารู้จักเขาแล้วเขาเคยเป็นนักมวยเก่าเคยเป็นเทรนเนอร์ที่อื่นมาแล้วเขามาพักอาศัยอยู่แถวนี้แล้วเขาชอบในความคิดเรา
Cool man. Boom.
เขาก็โดยปกติเขาก็มีงานทำของเขาเป็นหลักเป็นแหล่งเป็นประจำอยู่แล้วแล้วเขาก็ช่วงเย็นเขาก็จะมาช่วยเรา โดยไม่มีค่าจ้างค่าตอบแทน แต่มาช่วยกันด้วยใจอย่างนี้ครับ
ไปไงเด็กๆ ลุงไหวไหม
First time. Kapam kap. Thank you. An amazing experience. Another individual finding some space, building the dream, helping the community. That's what it's all about.
Bangkok clearly has its problems, but problems usually bring out the best in people with a talent for finding solutions. Take this guy, for example. He put together a mobile app to help the people of Bangkok notify the authorities when something needs a little fixing. And trust me, the whole city needs a little bit of TLC.
So, TT, walking around here, if I had my small daughter with me, I'm afraid I'd like lose her down holes if I never see her again. So tell me about the app that you've developed in order to try and map out the problem areas.
It started from me and my friend. We actually see things like this and we think that it can be better. So we started to report to the BMA using their website and the call center. But what surprised me is that they actually fix things.
They do?
Yeah, they do. You know, like 10% get fixed. But at least like something changed. Because I'm working on technology and stuff, I feel like I can make better reporting system.
Right.
Pedestrians in Bangkok always seem to get the short end of the stick. Even the sidewalks, already scarce, are being used for other purposes, constantly filled with a mind-boggling array of obstacles.
Walkway in Bangkok is kind of like a battlefield because there are so many departments. They just dump things on here.
Yeah.
Like, so if you want to make green, use the walkway. You can have brunch here.
You can have brunch. You can sleep there, dude. Yeah.
Oh, here.
Oh, it's a bike lane.
It's a bike lane. You have the bike lane, so this is the walkway.
Time thumbs up. It's going to be very polite. So let's have a look at what kind of challenges that you map out with your app.
Just look at this thing.
Right there.
It's very difficult to walk through.
Yeah.
And if you get past this, you get that more. This is one of the examples. So I guess probably the worker, they just don't know, you know, how to end this stuff.
Yeah.
So they just end it here.
So we're talking about something you can break your toe on.
Yes.
Sort of small scale, but also obviously important.
Yeah, very important. Like for me, this is the starting point for, like, you know, for citizens to get engaged.
Like if I keep talking to you, you know, and I'm not paying attention, I got a pole right there.
Yeah, just be careful.
Would you pin something like this on the app?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's pin it.
So I just need to take photo first.
All right. Do you want a picture of me lying here bleeding in front of it, or
yeah, just like this? Oh, I want to report an issue.
Oh, you send it to the Facebook Messenger?
Yeah, this is the chat bot. The bot will ask me for the location.
Just based on the GPS on your phone?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And that's it?
Yeah,
and so what happens, like it goes into the system?
All the reports will go to the website, and then the BMA, the officer, can check it.
Okay.
You know, and follow up all the issues over there. Look how much it takes.
Okay.
You know, it took like 2/3 of the walkway, like just for the police to sit and, you know, work. But I'm not really sure. You look inside, I mean, it's football match.
He's got a football on the screen. This is the police station. He's got his Ducati motorbike parked outside, taking up public space. And it's Premier League time, man. So how many pins do you have?
Thousands. Right now, the early adopter of the app is teenager, young people, well-educated, who cares about the city, who cares about the country. It's still very small circle, but it's people who are really serious about the issue in Bangkok right now. I think I got...
The cameraman just tripped on that right there. Dude's going backwards.
Be careful, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it just a cool app?
It's not just the cool app for sure.
Okay.
You know, right now it might look like I'm posting pothole or electricity line or whatever, but that is actually voice. That is the very big thing, you know, because right now everyone thinks they cannot change anything, you know, just live your life, be quiet, just be happy, like Thai style, just be happy.
Yeah.
But, you know, we have so much problem, so much, and we don't have enough time. If they know we have these tools and they can help each other, they can help changing the city. That is very big for me.
So every single pin is a democratic voice.
Yes.
Hey, man.
Guys, how you doing?
Good.
For an appointment?
Yeah, that's me. So I want to add a little piece of Bangkok sort of into that section there, right?
Okay.
So this is a map of Pom Mahakan, which is right next to the palace and the temple and the old walls of Bangkok. Awesome urban experience. So I'm thinking of just getting this little section of the old town there. I was thinking also of putting like a Pom Mahakan in Thai.
Right.
It's like this amazing historic neighborhood, and the government's just going to bulldoze it and make a park. You don't rip down neighborhoods like that. You know, you keep them. So let's record some history.
Perfect.
Bulldozing buildings and slapping up condos and shopping malls and new motorways is not the way forward. The neighborhood of Pom Mahakan is preserved in some form. Let's hope that it's still there the next time I come to Bangkok. If not, symbolic gesture. Can't ignore your history.
Bangkok is an incessant surge of non-stop movement. I found life-sized inspiration in this city, passionate citizens raging against an all-powerful matrix. But this isn't a city that is designed or planned like so many others. This is a city that is only engineered. The world needs cities like Bangkok, but Bangkok is struggling. I want Bangkok to succeed. And if this city does, there will be hope for every city in the world.